Welcome back to 31 Monsters in 31 Days. Let's see who we're making today. Today's monster is a ghost. All right, let's make a little ghost.
While we're sketching out the plan and making the basic blob shape that all the monsters in this series are built off of, I'm going to give you a bit of background on the ghost and why I included it in my monster list. If you need it, I give you a detailed breakdown on how to make the basic blob shape in this video. It's linked in the description. The link between Halloween and ghosts can be traced directly back to the ancient Celtic festival of Samhain that was celebrated in what are now Ireland, Scotland, and England. Samhain was the night when the disembodied spirits of the dead were believed to return to roam the earth. It was dangerous to displease the ghosts, so people would light welcoming fires, leave out food offerings, and wear disguises to confuse evil spirits. The image of a ghost in a white sheet has now been ingrained in Western culture for centuries. This evolved from the fact that prior to the 19th century, the dead were almost always wrapped in burial shrouds instead of placed in coffins. From there, spirits in theatrical productions were often shrouded in white. This imagery was further reinforced with the invention of photography and the Victorian trend of ghost photography, where spirits wearing sheets were produced through photographic tricks like double exposure or overlaying negatives. By the late 1930s, Disney had solidified the idea of a bedsheet clad ghost in their children's cartoons. From there, the image persisted through the decades in cartoons like Casper, Popeye, Scooby-Doo, and beyond. Now, bedsheet ghost imagery is on all kinds of home good and consumer products, and 2 eye holes cut in a bedsheet is an easy, accessible, and recognizable Halloween costume. So of course, the ghost had to go on my monster list. Here's the dry blob. It's got 4 layers of paper mache on it. This is a nice firm base to start with. Now, this blob is great, but it doesn't make for a very flowy ghost. So I wanted to add some folds and billows to look more like fabric. I start by using some quadruple folded aluminum foil to make a little skirt around the base of the blob. Now, this actually looks pretty good as is, but I think we can add some more detail to this fairly simple sculpture by curving some triangles of that folded foil and gluing them around the blob. This makes it look like the folds are kind of continuing up the fabric. I try to vary the size and height of these things so they look randomly placed around our ghost. I'm trimming the edge of the skirt a bit, leaving a few corners for that classic bedsheet look. Even though I used a few layers of foil, I'm worried that it's still a bit delicate, so I'm using some masking tape to strengthen and smooth it. I'm being careful to press the tape along those nice folds I just made. I'm using a bunch of short strips to connect the underside of the skirt back to the base. I'm doing 2 more layers of paper mache over that, finishing with a layer of white paper all over. I'm keeping her face sculpt pretty simple. After sketching on her face, I'm using some long snakes of DOS air dry clay to outline her features. I use a bit of white glue to get the clay to really stick to her face. No, you can't use like a natural or mineral based air dry clay for this. You need something with lots of fiber for this to work. I'll leave a link to this clay in the supply list in the description. I'm using a couple sculpting tools to gently blend the outside of the clay snake into the paper mache. I'm really liking the look of this. After getting everything blended in, I'm using my thumbs to finalize her expression before letting it dry. I found this acrylic tubing in my stash and I thought it might be cool to give the ghost a little stand so that it looks like he's floating. So I'm going to cut a section off this and do that. Here it is dry. Unfortunately, the white paper I used for that last layer of paper mache wasn't very smooth, so I'm doing about 4 thick coats of gesso. And I actually added some cornstarch to the gesso to thicken it up even more. You can see it looks a lot smoother now with all those coats of gesso on there, so I'm base coating it with a slightly off-white beige color. Oh, and we can't forget to paint her little ghost face with black. I'm painting the underside black too. So she's looking kind of boring, so I'm going to give her a bit of grittiness with an all-over wash with some watered down burnt umber. I'm really liking how this looks, but I'm dipping my toe into a bit more grittiness by gently splattering on some brown speckles. But then I just went for it with some more obvious brownish red spatters. Finally, I can glue on the acrylic base and our ghost is finished. Here she is, what do you think? A bit more of a simple project today, but do you like how I interpreted the prompt? I really love the spattering I added at the end. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. I try to reply to all of them. Thanks so much for watching to the end. If you could hit the like button or even comment a random emoji, I'd so appreciate it. Since I'm a smaller channel, anytime you interact, it really helps me out because it tells YouTube this video is worth watching. Also, if you have the option, feel free to try out that new hype feature YouTube is beta testing. It would make my freaking day if you hyped up my video. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss tomorrow's video. If you want to see it early, it is already up on my Patreon. And again, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.